Alright, YouTube, what's up, guys? Today, I got an email from Matthew. Looks like Matthew's from the UK. And it says, "Hello, Dimitri. I know this email is most likely reserved for collaborations and business. However, I wanted to express my appreciation for your content. It lit a fire that few content creators have done. Becoming an actor and potential content creator has been encouraged by multiple friends. However, the fear of being cringe has held me back. Your video pertaining to this has allowed me to make the attempt. Keep up the good work. Best wishes from an avid fan." Thank you, Matt, for this email. Thank you for reaching out. And I'm not gonna lie, you reached out to the right person, because I've only been creating content for a year. And I could tell you this straight up. The me from 5 years ago and my friends from 5 years ago and the circles I used to be around 5 years ago would have all thought that the content I'm creating now is cringe. I'll say that again. The me from 5 years ago and the environments I was around would have looked at what I'm doing now and thought of it as cringe. So you're not the only one in this boat. When I took my content creation journey, I took it knowing that the old me would have looked at it and said, "Oh man, this is cringe, what's he doing?" And I knew that the circles I used to hang around would have thought the same thing. However, despite that, I'm at a point where I'm now thriving with content creation, and I'm glad I took that risk. Because had I not gone over that hump of being worried about being cringe, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I tell you that to say, you're not the only one going through those thoughts. However, the caveat is, those thoughts, the ones that you're going through now, in my opinion, are what hold most people back from being great, from excelling, and from reaching their true potential. And here's why I say that. What you see me doing on social media right now, anybody who truly knows me will tell you that that's how I am in real life. I love providing inspiration. I love providing motivation. If I had never gotten over that hump of being cringe or being worried about what other people are thinking, I would have never been able to flourish into my true identity and who I truly am today. Simply put, I would have been a prisoner to other people's thoughts, which hinders you from being who you truly are, but also hinders your path to becoming great one day, from you reaching what your true destination is. Your destination isn't reliant on other people's thoughts and opinions. So if you're worried about those things, what happens is the road, the destination to where you're supposed to go gets blocked, it gets hindered, and you end up not going where you're supposed to be. So I'm going to offer you some words of encouragement of how to get over that. I'm going to start by telling you what made me start content creation. I was in law school at the time, and law school can be very rigorous. It's lots of reading, lots of studying, and so on and so forth. While I'm going through this process of all this hard work, all these long exams, and so on and so forth, I'm watching my girlfriend create content through makeup and having fun with it. You know, she's just doing whatever in the camera, reviewing makeup, getting all these free gifts. But then she starts to make real money from it. And as I'm watching that whole thing, I get to thinking like, yo, like, she's doing things that I would have once viewed as cringe, making a good amount of money from it. So that was the first thing that set off my mind. Like, it just got me thinking, because what you saw were two different walks of life going on. I was doing the go to school, go to law school, grad school, go to a strong school, work hard, and get a 9 to 5. And she was out here creating content. So we were side by side. And I'm watching her have a beautiful work-life balance, do what it is she truly loves, and make money from it. Like good money. So that was the first thing that got me thinking. But this second thing, I think, is what's going to truly inspire and motivate you. For anybody watching this, including you, Matt, what was going on was we've all scrolled through social media, or TikTok and Instagram and even Facebook. And when you're scrolling, at some point you come across that meme where it's like an individual in a clown face, and then the meme says, "How I feel going to my 9 to 5 while I know there's a 7-year-old out there making millions off YouTube." And I used to always see this meme. And to a lot of people, I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or relatable, but when I would see that, it would actually make me angry. So it gets to the point where you would think that someone who's wise would see that and think, man, am I going to continue to let the idea of being cringe stop me from making millions? Or am I going to continue to relate to memes like this and just be stuck in my position? And it got to the point where I got tired of seeing that. I actually felt like it was silly of me to watch others make millions off of YouTube or Instagram while I sit here and endure the difficulties of a 9 to 5 where I barely get to be with my partner, my friends, my family, and so on and so forth. And it was like, in order to reach those millions, to have a massive following, you have to start somewhere. And I finally accepted that and just said, F it, let me start. That was what really took it off. I got tired of seeing memes where it's like, oh, I feel like a clown, and there's a 5-year-old out there making millions off of YouTube doing such and such. It gets to a point where you're like, if you're mad about it, do something about it. So all of a sudden, me once thinking something was cringe, I was finally like, let me tap into it and see what it's about. That's what got me started. All right. And when you start, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection is another thing that stops a lot of people from starting. They get worried about, do I have the right camera? Do I speak right? Do I have the right aesthetics in my home? And so on and so forth. And then it just stops a lot of people from starting. They keep delaying it and delaying it. But content creation is one of those things, as the more you put out, the more you get better at it. So the process is what's making you perfect, not the equipment. Everything I did, I started with my iPhone and a tripod. Lastly, when you think of cringe, at least for me, when I used to think of the word cringe, the people whose opinions I was most worried about were people that I once knew. All right. And now that I've gone through the process, you'll soon realize that the people you once knew don't even make up 0.5% of this planet. And what I mean by that is, the amount of love I get now is worldwide. They know nothing about the town I come from, the people I once knew, and the people who you're worried about thinking your content is cringe will soon be irrelevant as you start to thrive. And if you struggle with that, what I suggest to you is start accounts with no one you know following you. In other words, I started an account, when I started my Instagram account, it was from scratch, and I didn't follow anybody I knew. I made sure no one I knew was following, so I didn't have the burden of other people's opinions holding me back. And because of that, I got to post with my true identity, with my full energy, my full purpose, without worrying about anybody. And that allowed me to thrive. So don't let the idea of cringe hold you back, because you're going to have to be cringe to get to the end goal, which is having clout, money, a platform to do whatever it is you want to do. You have to start somewhere. There's a quote that says, embarrassment is the cost of entry. You can't one day be great if you're not willing to be embarrassed in the beginning. If you go back to the beginning of my Instagram and watch my videos, they're incredibly cringe. But I wouldn't change that for the world, because as I was posting them, I was learning step by step by step. And Another thing you can learn from my process, and I'm still early in my process, but another thing you can learn from it is I was just taking it one step at a time. So what I mean is, when I first started, I was just doing quotes. Then you saw me giving me my then you see me giving my personal opinion on a variety of subjects. Now you see me speaking behind a mic. These are things I never thought I would be doing. But because I stuck with the process day by day by day, I'm gradually getting better and better at what this content creation thing is. I think that goes for any content creator. If you go back to their first videos, their first uploads, they're all going to be cringe. But because they stuck to it, they eventually became great at what they do. And then as you continue to stick to it, it becomes an art. You get excited to post, and you truly no longer care what people think. So it seems like you have friends telling you should create content. That means you probably have a talent inside of you already. So it would be silly of you not to start because you're worried about the weight of other people's opinions or the idea you might be cringe. Yes, you're going to be cringe. You're new to this. You're not a master. But take that sacrifice and be cringe, because being cringe at first is going to be what potentially leads you to greatness down the road, though. So I'm glad you sent me this message, and I can speak to it because it's the process I'm going through right now. And honestly, it's been wonderful. I also add this last piece of wisdom. This might sound cheesy and it might sound cliche, but the last thing that got me going was, as I get older, you start to envision, if you're on your deathbed, would you have any regrets of what you didn't do? For me, I knew that if I reach that point at old age, God willing, and I look back and I didn't take that risk with content creation or whatever it is, I would regret it tremendously. Don't let that be you. 30 years down the line, you want to be able to say you made every single decision that you truly wanted to. Don't let the opinions of others hold you back from making those decisions. I hope that helped, brother. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're thriving. And if you have any follow-up questions, shoot me another email, and I'm excited to see how you go on this journey. For everybody else, if you have questions you want me to address, things in life you're going through, shoot me an email or DM me on Instagram. Well, my Instagram DMs aren't working, but if you go to my Instagram, there's an email option. Shoot me an email, or even leave a comment in this video. Like it, subscribe, leave words of encouragement, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Be blessed.